You walk through the door and your brain is just completely done. You're not even hungry in a normal way. You're just empty. Cooking feels like the hardest thing anyone could ask of you right now. So you just stand in the kitchen, staring into the fridge, doing nothing. That's exactly the moment these 6 meals were made for. Today, I'll show you how to cook 6 no-brain meals for the days you come home and can't think. Welcome back to the channel. This is the place for real food that fits real life. No decisions, no complicated steps, no timing 5 things at once. You come home, you follow the steps, you eat, you recover. Let's get into it. Meal 1. Creamy garlic butter pasta. The first meal is one of the most satisfying things you can make with almost nothing. It's creamy garlic butter pasta, and it takes about 15 minutes total. No chopping, no special ingredients, nothing you need to go out and buy. If you have pasta, butter, and garlic, you can make this right now. Let's start with the pasta itself. Bring a large pot of water to a rolling boil. This isn't the time for a simmer. We want an aggressive, bubbling cauldron. Add a generous amount of salt. Don't be shy. The rule of thumb is that pasta water should taste like the sea. This is your only opportunity to season the actual dough of the pasta from within. So undersalting here will result in bland, final dish, no matter what sauce you add later. Add around 100 grams of dry pasta. That's roughly 3/4 or a full cup depending on the shape. Any shape works here. Spaghetti, penne, rigatoni, fusilli. Choose based on your mood. Cook it according to the package instructions, but crucially, before you drain it, save some pasta water. You'll need about half a cup, roughly 120 milliliters, set aside. Do not pour this down the sink. This starchy, cloudy liquid is the secret weapon of Italian grandmothers everywhere. It's the key to creating a silky, restaurant-quality emulsion without using heavy cream. While the pasta boils, let's talk science. What we're making is technically an emulsion, a mixture of 2 liquids that don't normally combine, like oil and water. In our case, it's the hydrophobic fat molecules in the butter bonding with the hydrophilic starches leached from the pasta. When they meet in a hot pan with mechanical action, stirring, they create a stable, glossy coating that clings to the pasta perfectly. Grab a skillet or sauté pan and set it over medium-low heat. We are not searing anything. We are scouting flavor. Add 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, about 30 grams. Using unsalted butter gives you control over the final sodium level, which is critical since we'll be adding cheese later. Let it melt slowly until it starts to foam slightly. Once melted, add 3 to 4 cloves of fresh garlic, minced as finely as possible or pressed through a garlic press. Don't rush this part. Let the garlic soften gently in the butter for 2 full minutes. You want it to become fragrant and golden straw-colored, not browned or burnt. Burnt garlic tastes acrid and bitter, ruining the entire dish. If it starts sizzling too aggressively, immediately lower the flame. Now comes the magic trick. Drain your cooked pasta, but remember the reserved water. Immediately transfer the piping hot pasta directly into the pan with the garlic butter. Do not rinse the pasta. Rinsing washes away the surface starch we desperately need for our sauce. Turn the heat to low. Start tossing everything together vigorously. Now take that reserved pasta water and pour in a splash. Start with about 3 tablespoons. Watch closely. As you stir, you'll see the transformation happen before your eyes. The watery liquid and the oily butter will magically pull together into a thick, creamy sauce that envelops each strand. If it looks too tight or dry, add another spoonful of water. Keep tossing until every piece is glistening and coated. This process should take less than 60 seconds. For the finishing touches, season properly. Grind half a teaspoon of black pepper directly into the pan. The sharp bite cuts through the richness of the butter beautifully. Taste for salt. Because we salted the cooking water, you might find you don't need much more. Finally, if you have Parmesan, grate about 20 grams, 2 tablespoons, over the top. The umami-rich, salty crystals will melt instantly from the residual heat, integrating seamlessly into the sauce. If you don't have Parmesan, don't worry. The dish stands powerfully on its own. Bowl it up. This meal provides around 500 calories. It's a perfect storm of carbohydrates from the pasta, which replenish glycogen stores quickly after a hard day, and fats from the butter, which provide sustained energy and satiety. Simple, soul-soothing, and delicious with 0 mental overhead. Meal 2. Egg fried rice. Meal number 2 is the king of using up whatever you have in the fridge. Egg fried rice comes together in under 10 minutes if your rice is already cooked. That's the one non-negotiable trick. Leftover rice works infinitely better than freshly made rice. Freshly cooked rice is packed with moisture, and individual grains are fragile. On contact with a screaming hot wok, those grains burst, releasing steam and turning your potential masterpiece into a sticky mess. Cold, day-old rice has had time for its structure to firm up and excess moisture to evaporate, resulting in distinct, resilient grains that can survive high heat treatment. If you don't have leftovers, here's the hack. Cook some rice now. Spread it thinly on a baking sheet and stick it in the freezer for 15 minutes or refrigerate it uncovered. This rapid cooling mimics the texture of day-old rice by shocking the starches. You'll need about 1.5 cups of cold, cooked rice, roughly 250 grams. Crack 2 eggs into a small bowl and beat them lightly with a fork. Mince 2 cloves of garlic and, if you have it, a 1-inch knob of fresh ginger. These aromatics form the flavor base. Gather 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, around 30 milliliters, and keep 1 tablespoon of sesame oil, 15 milliliters, separate for finishing. Heat a large pan or a proper carbon steel wok over the highest heat your stove can muster. It needs to be scorching. Wait until the pan is smoking slightly. This extreme temperature is essential for wok hay, the breath of the wok, which imparts a unique smoky, charred flavor impossible to achieve otherwise. Add 1 tablespoon of neutral oil with a high smoke point, such as vegetable, grapeseed, or sunflower oil. When the oil shimmers and thins out, hit it with the garlic and ginger. Stir fry for precisely 30 seconds. They are there to perfume the oil. They should never fully cook. Push the aromatics to the side of the pan, creating a clear space in the center where the heat is most intense. Pour in your beaten eggs. Let them sit undisturbed for about 10 seconds to set on the bottom. Then, scramble them roughly with your spatula, breaking them into small curds. We're looking for eggs that are about 80% done. They'll finish cooking when combined with the rice. Immediately dump the cold rice right on top of the eggs. Don't hesitate. Use your spatula to break up any clumps by pressing them against the side of the pan. Now, use a strong scraping motion to integrate everything. Your goal is to coat every grain of rice in egg and oil. Keep the heat high and keep moving the rice constantly. Don't let it sit still for a second, or it will burn. After about 2 minutes of vigorous movement, the rice should look heated through and starting to toast slightly. Pour in your soy sauce. It will sizzle violently upon contact, caramelizing onto the rice and lending deep savory notes and color. Toss everything together for another minute to distribute the sauce evenly. Take the pan off the heat. Drizzle the sesame oil over the top. It has a very low smoke point and is used purely for its potent, nutty aroma, not for cooking. Give it one final toss. Its greatest virtue is its infinite adaptability. At this stage, you can fold in frozen peas, corn kernels, diced ham, leftover roast chicken, or prawn. A sprinkle of furikake, a Japanese rice seasoning, adds umami and crunch. It's a culinary blank canvas designed to clean out your refrigerator. Meal 3. Sheet pan sausage and vegetable. Meal number 3 is the ultimate expression of passive cooking. This is the recipe you make when you want to do absolutely nothing active. You prep it in 5 minutes, put it in the oven, and then you can just disappear. No standing at the stove, no Shirley, no checking every few minutes. The oven does all the work while you decompress on the couch. This is sheet pan sausage and vegetable. The beauty of this method lies in the Maillard reaction. By exposing proteins and sugars to high, dry heat, we trigger complex chemical reactions that produce hundreds of new flavor compounds, giving us that irresistible golden brown crust and sweet, nutty aromas. Preheat your oven to 200 degrees Celsius, 400 Fahrenheit. Line a large rimmed baking sheet with parchment paper or aluminum foil. Trust me on this. The cleanup alone makes this recipe worth its weight in gold. You'll need 3 to 4 raw sausages, about 250 to 300 grams total. The type doesn't matter. Pork breakfast links, spicy Italian, herby chicken, or plant-based alternatives all work brilliantly. For the vegetables, raid your crisper drawer. Bell peppers, zucchini, red onion, cherry tomatoes, broccoli florets, all work perfectly here. Aim for about 300 grams of mixed vegetables total. The key to even cooking is uniformity. Cut the sausages into thick rounds, about 2 centimeters each. Chop the vegetables into similar sized chunks so everything finishes cooking at the same time. Place everything in a large mixing bowl. Drizzle 2 tablespoons of olive oil, around 30 milliliters, over the whole tray. Oil acts as a vehicle for heat transfer and helps the spices adhere. Season with half a teaspoon of kosher salt, half a teaspoon of coarse black pepper, half a teaspoon of granulated garlic powder, and half a teaspoon of smoked paprika. The smoked paprika is non-negotiable. It infuses the entire dish with a subtle campfire essence that elevates it beyond basic roasted veggies. Toss everything with your hands or a large spoon until every single piece is glistening and coated in oil and spice. Spread the mixture out in a single layer on your prepared baking sheet. This is crucial. Overcrowding the pan causes the vegetables to steam instead of roast, leaving them soggy and pale. We want direct contact with the metal for maximum browning. Put the tray in the oven for 25 to 30 minutes. Halfway through, give everything a quick shake or flip with a spatula if you feel like getting up. But honestly, you don't have to. The natural sugars in the onions and bell peppers will caramelize. The zucchini will soften beautifully, and the sausage casings will crisp up into delightful little pockets of snap. Try swapping regular paprika for smoked Spanish pimenton for a deeper flavor profile. When you pull it out, everything should be deeply golden and smell incredible. You can eat this straight from the tray if you want, one less dish to wash, or serve it over a scoop of quinoa or with a hunk of crusty bread for dipping. Calorically, this ranges from 500 to 700, depending on the fat content of your chosen sausage. You're getting a powerful combination of protein and fat for satiety, plus vitamins and fiber from the vegetables. It's substantial, healthy, and requires virtually no effort. Meal 4. Tuna Avocado Bowl. Meal number 4 is for the nights when you don't want to turn on the stove at all. Zero cooking, zero heat, zero waiting. It comes together in about 5 minutes, and it's genuinely filling and nutritious. This is a tuna and avocado rice bowl, and it tastes way better than it sounds. This is a study in balance. We'll build layers of flavor and texture that come together harmoniously. You'll need 1 can of tuna in water or oil, around 145 grams drained, 1 ripe avocado, about 150 grams of flesh, 1 cup of cooked rice, about 180 grams. This can be leftover or from a microwave pouch. Open and drain your tuna thoroughly. Place it in a medium bowl, add the soy sauce, sesame oil, and rice vinegar directly to the tuna. Mix it all together with a fork. Taste it. Does it need a touch more salt? More acid? Adjust accordingly. Scoop your warm or room temperature rice into a serving bowl. Create a bed for your other components. Spoon the dressed tuna mixture on top of the rice. Have your avocado, remove the pit, and scoop the flesh out in slices or cubes. Lay the avocado pieces artfully over the tuna and rice. To prevent the avocado from browning if you're prepping ahead, keep the pit in the unused half and squeeze lemon juice on the flesh. That's it. Done. The whole thing comes in at around 500 to 600 calories. Nutritionally, it's a slam dunk. Lean protein from the tuna, heart-healthy monounsaturated fats from the avocado, and complex carbs from the rice. It's one of the fastest balanced meals you can assemble. The ingredients are also incredibly shelf-stable, meaning you can always have the makings of a great dinner ready to go without needing a trip to the store. Meal 5. Creamy Tomato Chickpea Stew. Meal number 5 is the one you reach for when you need something warm and comforting, something that feels like it was made with effort even though it absolutely wasn't. This is a creamy tomato chickpea stew, and it takes about 20 minutes. 1 pot, minimal chopping, and the kind of flavor that makes you feel taken care of. We are building a foundation of umami and depth. You'll need 1 can of chickpeas, around 400 grams, drained and rinsed. 1 can of crushed tomatoes, 400 grams. Half a can of coconut milk for luxurious body, or regular heavy cream if you prefer dairy. Half a medium onion, diced, roughly 70 grams. 3 cloves of garlic, minced. 1 tablespoon of olive oil. And the spice blend, 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, and half a teaspoon of turmeric. Heat your olive oil in a saucepan or Dutch oven over medium heat. Add the diced onion and cook for about 4 minutes until it's softened, becomes translucent, and starts to sweat. This slow cooking develops the natural sugar. Add the minced garlic and stir for 1 more minute, being careful not to let it brown. Now, bloom the spices. Add the cumin, smoked paprika, and turmeric directly to the pan. Stir them into the oil and onion for 30 seconds. This step is vital. Heating spices and fat releases their volatile oils, unlocking their full aromatic potential. Your kitchen will begin to smell amazing. Pour in the crushed tomatoes and stir everything together. Let this mixture simmer for 5 minutes so the tomatoes reduce slightly and concentrate their flavor. Add the drained chickpeas and stir them in. Finally, pour in the coconut milk. If using cream instead of coconut milk, temper it first by whisking a few spoonfuls of hot tomato sauce into the cold cream before adding it to the pot to prevent curdling. Stir again until smooth. Season generously with salt and black pepper. Let the whole thing simmer gently for 8 to 10 minutes. This allows the chickpeas to absorb the surrounding flavors and the sauce to thicken slightly from the reduction. The starch released from the chickpeas will also help naturally thicken the stew. Taste it one last time. Need more salt? A touch more smoked paprika for depth? A squeeze of lemon juice for brightness? Serve it over a pile of basmati rice to soak up the sauce, or with a chunk of sourdough bread for dipping. For a boost of nutrition and color, throw in a big handful of baby spinach during the last minute of cooking. It will wilt perfectly into the stew. This stew delivers around 500 to 600 calories per serving. Combined with the healthy saturated fats from the coconut milk, this is a meal that sticks to your ribs and warms your soul on a difficult evening. Meal 6. Cheesy scrambled eggs on toast with avocado. The last meal on the list is one that sounds too simple to be satisfying, but I promise you, done properly, this is one of the best things you can eat on a hard night. Cheesy scrambled eggs on toast with avocado. It takes under 10 minutes and it's warm, soft, rich, and genuinely comforting. The cardinal sin of scrambled eggs is cooking them on high heat. Low and slow is the mantra. High heat forces the proteins to contract rapidly, squeezing out moisture and resulting in a dry, rubbery texture. Our goal is custard-like perfection. You'll need 3 large eggs, about 150 grams total, 1 tablespoon of butter, 15 grams, 2 tablespoons of whole milk or heavy cream, 30 milliliters, for added richness and tenderness. 30 grams of grated cheese. Cheddar or Gruyere work best, about 3 tablespoons. 2 slices of good quality bread, sourdough, whole grain, or country loaf. Half a ripe avocado. Salt, black pepper, and a pinch of chili flake. Crack your eggs into a bowl. Add the milk/cream and a small pinch of salt. Whisk vigorously until the mixture is a uniform, pale yellow color. Set a nonstick pan over the lowest possible heat setting. Add your butter. Allow it to melt slowly without letting it bubble or foam aggressively. You want it to quietly liquefy and coat the pan. Pour in the eggs. Here's the technique. Leave them alone for 20 seconds. Let a thin layer begin to set on the bottom. Then, using a flexible silicone spatula, start gently pushing the eggs from the edges toward the center. As you do this, tilt the pan to let the runny, uncooked egg flow into the exposed areas. Repeat this process slowly and patiently. Pull, drag, and fold. You are creating large, soft curds. Continue this until the eggs are mostly set, but still look quite wet and glossy. This is the moment to act fast. Remove the pan from the heat entirely. The residual heat trapped in the eggs and the pan will continue to cook them to perfect doneness. Sprinkle the grated cheese over the eggs and gently fold it in. The heat of the eggs will melt the cheese beautifully. Adding a dollop of creme fraiche or sour cream off heat gives them an even silkier finish. While the eggs rest, toast your bread to your desired level of crispness. Have your avocado, remove the pit, and scoop the flesh out. Slice it neatly. Arrange the avocado slices on the hot toast, pressing them down lightly with a fork. Season the avocado with a pinch of salt and a squeeze of lemon or lime juice if available. Spoon the impossibly soft, cheesy scrambled eggs over the avocado toast. Finish with a generous crack of black pepper and a light dusting of chili flakes. This meal provides around 500 calories of pure nourishment. Eggs offer highly bioavailable protein that's easy to digest, while avocado contributes potassium, fiber, and healthy fats. Paired with the carbohydrates from the bread, this is a biologically complete end to a tough day. It's proof that sometimes the simplest things are the most profound. So those are 6 no-brain meals for the days when you come home and your brain is just gone. From the decadent simplicity of creamy garlic butter pasta to the passive ease of a sheet pan supper, we've covered the spectrum of lazy cooking. All of them are fast, all of them are filling, and none of them require you to think too hard. That's the whole point. You don't have to choose between eating well and having zero energy. You just need the right recipes ready for the right moment. And honestly, keeping a few cans of beans, a box of pasta, and a dozen eggs in the house changes everything. Those 3 staples alone can cover most of the meals on this list. If you made it to the end of this video, I really appreciate you. Give it a like if any of these meals are going straight onto your weekly rotation. Drop a comment below and tell me what your go-to lazy meal is. I genuinely love reading those. Subscribe if you want more videos like this one. I post new ones every week. And until next time, eat something good tonight. You deserve it.